Here are my 2 cents. The best millionaire tips from Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer, and the middle class is disappearing. Why is this happening? What's going on? Could all of this be happening because of some evil plan? Or is it because that's just the way things are? What if I told you the answer to that first question could be found right here in this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, What the Rich Teach Their Kids About Money That the Poor and Middle Class Do Not, by Robert Kiyosaki. In this video, I will be giving you the 5 best tips I received from reading this book. 1. How do you think about money? Do you believe it's only for certain people? That you have to be born rich to be rich? That if you are born poor, you will always stay poor? Just like you, I thought success was only meant for certain people, especially when it came to the subject of money. It wasn't until I read this book that my mentality shifted in its way of thinking. This book made me realize things that I wasn't fully aware of before when it came to the subject of money. This is what Kiyosaki has to say about it. He had 2 dads, a poor and a rich one. According to Kiyosaki, the ultimate difference was how they thought about money. Occasionally, he would hear one dad say, "I can't afford it," while the other dad said, "How can I afford it?" Can you guess by those statements who the poor or rich one is? It's not that hard to tell, right? Obviously, the poor dad was the one who tells himself, "I can't afford it," and the rich one was the one who constantly asked himself, "How can I afford it?" One statement makes the brain lazy and puts it to sleep. The other strengthens it and puts it to work. Rich Dad mentions a lot in this book that you need to work out the brain more. The more muscle your brain has, the more money you'll make. Kiyosaki says, if you continue to tell yourself things like, "I can't afford it," "I can't do it," or "it's not for me," then you will ultimately impose a self-limiting belief within yourself. And as time goes on, little by little, as you get older, slowly, you will begin to believe it. I've always noticed that the most successful people have a strong mindset. They may not be the strongest physically, but mentally, they're tough. So remember, strengthen your brain and fix your mindset, because at the end of the day, it's your biggest asset. 2. Don't work for money, make money work for you. In this book, Rich Dad always puts an emphasis on working to learn, not to earn. So how did Robert get money to work for him? He explains in the book that when he was a little boy at his job, the owner was throwing out all the comics. He asked the owner if he can keep them. The owner said yes, but don't sell them. He took all those comics and put them in his friend's basement. They cleaned up the basement and turned it into a comic book library. They paid his friend's younger sister to work there for them so that they didn't have to be there. The younger sister would charge an entry fee to the other kids to get access to their library. Kiyosaki and his friend in the end made about $9.50 per week for a couple of months. Keep in mind that this was during the 1950s. Rich Dad was happy because they had finally learned how to make money work for them. I took this tip to heart and decided to find a way to make my money work for me. I decided to invest my money in the stock market to make money while I sleep. Due to diligent work, I invested in the right company and have made a good return on my investment. All of this was done by me simply putting my money in the stock market and researching a company that had potential. And this is how I made my money work for me. This is one of the first businesses Robert started that made him money and is also an example of how to make money work for you. Keep in mind that Robert was less than 15 years old when he did this. He had no money or people investing in him. He went back to tip number 1 and used his head. 3. Be financially literate. Imagine going to a foreign country with only $20 in your pocket. Do you think you'd be able to make a good living there without speaking the native language? Probably not. Money works the same way. Going into my 4th year of college, I decided to switch my major from computer science to accounting. A lot of people told me I was foolish for doing that, but I don't think they understood me. I switched to accounting for just one reason: to become financially literate. This is a tip that Kiyosaki puts a tremendous emphasis on in his book, and it made a lot of sense to me. It made me realize why the majority of people don't do well when it comes to money. This is why you must understand the language of money. Kiyosaki mentions in his book plenty of topics that you should know and study, but I will only tell you a few in this video. He mentions to study the basics of accounting like the income statement, balance sheet, and statement of cash flows. He also mentions throughout the book to learn marketing, sales, and how to be a good leader in order to have a higher chance at success with business. Kiyosaki will also tell you what financial IQ is built around, but you will have to get the book in order to find out. 4. Learn to view failures as teachers. The most successful people I know have failed more times than anyone I know. Just like the saying goes, a master has failed more times than any of his students. Thanks to this book, I gave entrepreneurship a try. My first attempt at business was starting my own website and trying to make money off of it. Things weren't going the way I wanted, so I stopped doing it. I was still happy I did it because I learned a lot. If you had told me 4 years ago that I was going to build a website on my own without anyone's help, I would have told you you are completely crazy. Thanks to that attempt, I now know how to make a website with less than $30 and will be able to avoid all of the mistakes that I made on the first attempt. My second attempt was customizing sneakers. I sold 2 pairs and made a decent profit, but I decided to stop because I realized that I wasn't passionate about it. I'm very happy I tried it because it taught me to be extremely resourceful. I had no idea how to paint, how to draw, or how to market a product correctly. Thanks to that attempt, I now know how to do all of those things that I did not know. Remember, failures are just opportunities to learn and grow. They teach you what works and what doesn't work. And that's exactly what those business attempts did for me. Have a positive attitude towards failure. Also, learn from your mistakes, but most importantly, learn from other people's mistakes. Here's some valuable advice that I once heard a millionaire say. Do not try to reinvent the wheel. One way to increase your chances of success and avoid failure is to model someone's path. Follow the path successful people took so that you won't have to make all the mistakes yourself. Always keep in mind that each failure brings you one step closer towards your goals. Embrace risk, loss, and failure. 5. Give back to others. In life, be a giver, not a taker. Look around you. There is always someone in need. You do not need to be a millionaire to help someone out. A simple dollar can help a homeless person eat for the day. Clothes that don't fit you anymore could mean the world to someone who has worn the same clothes for a year straight. Giving a smile to a stranger can make their day. Donate to charity and other valuable causes that will help people out. Remember that life isn't all about you. There are so many people out there that could use your help. I know this isn't a tip related to money, but as a person, it's something that you should know. These are some of the best tips that I got out of this book and some of my personal experiences that I shared with you. Because of this book, I started investing my money in the stock market, became the president of a business club at my college, started giving entrepreneurship a try, and also it made me make a YouTube channel. If it has done that much for me, I believe it could do the same for you, and if not, then more. Keep in mind that this is not a book review. The reason why is because my goal is to get you to pick up this book and start reading it. I really hope you learned something new in this video. The benefits if you actually do buy this book. Some of the key principles you will learn in this book if you buy it are why you shouldn't want to raise in your job, how rich dad managed to retire at the age of 47, why the rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer, and why the middle class is disappearing. Here's a bonus tip from Robert himself. Rich people buy assets, poor people buy liabilities. To make it simple, an asset puts money in your pocket and a liability takes money out of your pocket. Basically, start buying or creating anything that can put money inside your pocket the same way Kiyosaki did when he was less than 15 years old. To save you time, I decided to put an Amazon affiliate link in the description and comment section below to get quick access to Robert Kiyosaki's book. Don't waste any more time or procrastinate. You probably already feel like you've wasted too much time already. If you don't take action now, you will remain in the same place that you were yesterday. Go out there and get this book. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.